For PHNX, I'm Jesse Friedman, and this is The Rattle. Diamondbacks manager Torey Lovullo spoke to the media prior to this three-game series between the D-backs and the Giants, and of course, that means we have injury updates. Beginning with D-backs righty Zac Gallen, Lovullo said that Gallen is slated to begin a throwing progression on Tuesday. Of course, Gallen was placed on the 15-day IL on Friday with that right hamstring strain. Lovullo had initially expressed optimism that Gallen could return after just a minimum 15 days on the injured list. Lovullo today clarified sort of where he stands on Gallen's situation moving forward.
So I don't know. I'm hoping it's going to be as short as possible, but he's going to start his throwing program tomorrow. I'm sure that when he's throwing, he's not going to feel much of the discomfort that he was feeling. We just got to be careful about how it heals and when he starts to really stress that and push off of it. So when does that start? I don't know. So I don't know what the time that'll be.
Gallen, of course, will be eligible to return from the injured list around June 15th. We'll see what happens with his situation moving forward. Another injured D-back starter, righty Merrill Kelly. According to Lovullo, Kelly will also start a throwing progression on Tuesday. Of course, Kelly's been on the injured list for a while, going back to the mid-late portion of April with a strain in his right teres major. That's in his right shoulder. Lovullo said today that for every day Kelly was down, he's going to have to build back up. So he was down altogether for about 6 weeks. That means potentially he could return to the D-backs sometime in mid-July, although certainly a lot of boxes to check between now and then. Another injured D-back starting pitcher, lefty Eduardo Rodriguez. He hasn't thrown a pitch yet this season with that lat tendon issue that came up just about a week and a half before the season began. Lovullo said today that Erod is out to 90 feet with his throwing program. D-backs have played it pretty conservatively there, as Erod has been in a throwing program for almost a month at this point, still hasn't thrown off a mound. Lovullo gave an update today on when he could throw off a mound and his status moving forward.
I think the progression is 90, 105, 120, flat ground, and then get on a mound and throw a bullpen. He's going to continue to get evaluated. He's going to continue to get some imaging. We got to make sure that we hit these landmarks and everything's showing up the right way before we take those next steps. So there might be some slowing in that process, but that's kind of what we do, and that's kind of what the schedule will be as we move forward.
Elsewhere in D-backs injury news, right-hander reliever Luis Frias is set to begin a rehab assignment in AAA Reno on Tuesday. Frias has been out with right shoulder inflammation. On the position player side, shortstop Geraldo Perdomo getting close to making his return from that meniscus tear. Of course, he had surgery. Perdomo is set to play 7 innings again at the Complex League tonight. Lovullo said he will then make the trip out to AAA Reno, where he will start on Wednesday. Lovullo said he doesn't necessarily know exactly how many games Perdomo will play at Reno before rejoining the Diamondbacks, but it figures to not be too long from right now. Also, D-back center fielder Alek Thomas still working his way back from a hamstring strain. Lovullo said that Thomas is continuing to progress with his running, that he's still running in a straight line, could get onto bases later this week, and Lovullo said that if things go well, Thomas could get into some games at some level next week.